With the great wealth transfer underway, how do you think family enterprises can best prepare for the next generation of leaders?
Well, I think broadly speaking, they can do it by investing as much in thinking about the human capital as they do the financial capital. And that is not always something they do. There are more sophisticated ways of thinking about how groups come together, how individuals can thrive. Um, and spending time on these things in a very careful and considered and sort of intentional way is something that some families do, but not all do. Some large business families do, but not all do. And I think that, thinking about the human capital as being as valuable an asset, let's say, as all of the other assets, is something that would stand them in much better stead. Because, preparing next gens, for example, adult next gens, you know, everybody understands that getting a good education is a good thing. Most people understand that getting some outside working experience is a good thing. But beyond that, there's quite a lot more you can do. For example, what's a suitable peer group for this young person or this young adult who's going to come into the ownership of a very sizable asset? Who can they talk to about what they're going through? How can I prepare them to sit on a board where they themselves will be a rookie at first, but the owner eventually?
Mhm.
What kind of, not just understanding of the asset do they need, but understanding of how they show up in these meetings and how to get the best out of the people around them as they go on their own learning journey of being on a board or being an owner. Um, you can run much fairer, more transparent sort of selection processes between your children, where, you've got a chance that they'll all accept the outcomes if you consult with them all and bring them in. And of course, then also you can factor in their appetite and their ability and aptitude for a particular role when you're thinking about who should be doing what. These things are not rocket science, but then they haven't always been given enough attention, I would say. And that's a way to think about the transfer of wealth. It's not just, or the transfer of a business. It's not just a financial or a business event. It's a sort of emotional and family event, and all the dynamics around that can actually be prepared for. And I think about it a bit. I started doing a lot of this work intensely during COVID. And it occurred to me that some of it is like a vaccination, because what you're thinking about is, well, how do I head off a problem in the future by making sure that, let's say, the decisions I make about the people coming into this business are not just the right people in the right roles, but that the others will accept it. Because
Mhm.
we know that in families there are all sorts of undercurrents and dynamics. And so you can actually think that through in, a more intentional and careful way.